Welcome to Narrow Ground Entertainment. I'm Steve the Unimpressed, and this is Steve Solo's Minecraft. I have enough coffee to float a battleship next to me here, and there's also a cat sitting on a chair, so I should be ready to start. I am still out in the middle of nowhere, really, next to this ocean monument that I found in the previous episode. Before I head back, I want to check out this coral reef over here. These are a fairly unique biome, and there's plenty of stuff, there's plenty of stuff here that you can't really get anywhere else, so I want to come over and examine it. I'm going to try to stay far away enough from the ocean monument that the guardians don't start shooting at me, though. Had enough of them for a little while. In the previous episode, I cleared out the elder guardians in that temple, and eventually I will convert it into a guardian farm, but that's not a project for right now. That's going to be a while before I tackle that. Looks like what's beyond the coral reef is a mesa biome, so that's a good thing to know about also. I am not going to collect any of these coral blocks. One of the things about these is that they aren't really renewable in standard Minecraft. I think there are data packs and mods that make these renewable, but I play just a basic vanilla version of the game right now. I don't have any data packs of any kind, or let alone any full mods, so I can't really make more of these, so I'm just going to leave these for now. If I ever want them for anything, I will come back to get some, but you need Silk Touch tools to collect them. What I do want to collect some of is the sea pickles. These do grow back, they are renewable. I think bone mealing the coral blocks causes them to spawn, or bone mealing the ground in a coral reef biome, will cause them to spawn. And I think if you bone meal a single sea pickle, it will cause more of them to sprout next to it, because they accumulate in groups like this. So when I place one down here, if I keep placing more down, I will keep getting more, and then I'm going to drown. I always forget that you actually have to stay above the surface for a little while if you want your breath to refill. So I'm going to collect these two groups of sea pickles. Where did those four go? There they are. 7 should be enough for my purposes, and I also want some of these coral fans, and what's the name of the other kind? There's two types of thing here. Coral fans and coral something. I don't know, I'm going to have to find out when I pick them up. It might just be straight coral. I don't think that I can pick those up without Silk Touch either, though, and I left my tools over on that island. Well, let's try it. Nope. Need Silk Touch to pick those up. So let me go grab my tools and come back. Okay, now let's try that again with the Silk Touch tool. There's what I was trying to get a hold of. It is just coral. Okay. So that's a tube coral. The blue coral blocks then would be tube coral blocks. Each the types kind of go together by color. I'm not sure if that made sense. I mean, I said it, so probably not. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to collect one of each type right now. I think I'll try to collect one of each type of coral and a couple of coral fans of indeterminate type, because those are useful for other things. I'm going to leave the coral blocks alone until I need them for something, which I imagine that I won't. It took me a few minutes, but I did manage to collect one of every type of coral: bubble coral, fire coral, brain coral, horn coral, and tube coral. And I also got 5 fire coral fans. And the fans are the kind that grow on the side. Although they do sometimes grow on the top also, but they just don't look as decorative. So that is a regular coral, and that is a coral fan. The fans are actually useful for some technical things. I don't know the full list, but I know TNT duplicators are one of them. I don't know if I will be using one of those ever, but now if I ever do decide to put one together, I have some coral fans around. The corals themselves are just decorative things. I think that they have to be submerged in water. So they're something I will use if I put together a fish tank or something, or maybe I'll just put some around my bay. I'm not sure what else you have to do to get more of them, but I know that these can be re-spawned. I know they're renewable. I'm not sure if you use bone meal on them and then you potentially get more corals, or I guess I'll have to experiment with that when I get home, whenever that is. You might be able to bone meal these and potentially get more coral, or you might have to bone meal the ground or blocks of coral in a coral reef biome. I'm not sure what all the restrictions are on that, I just know that they are renewable. The sun is going back down though, apparently I spent some time doing that. So let me hop back in my boat and head back to this island and figure out what else I'm going to do. I think that there's buried treasure around here somewhere also. I found the map for that in the previous episode, and I think that I want to go and collect that before I head back to the bay. However, this buried treasure is just north of me somewhere. I think it might actually even be within the area of the Ocean Explorer map. If it's not, I don't think it's too far north of that. But I'm going to travel north from here until I get the buried treasure, and then I will probably strike out across land to try and get back to the bay that way. If I get lost, I can always come back to the Ocean Explorer map and backtrack directly along the line that I know that I took to get here. Hopefully I don't get lost. Or more lost. The moon is setting and I know that the sun is rising behind me, and it occurred to me during the night that I also need cactuses. Cacti? It occurred to me that it would also be good to go over to this mesa biome and see if I can acquire some cacti over here, because that will get me green dye. And I think that cacti are the only way to get green dye. So as long as I'm right next to a place where there should be some cacti around, I should go and scout for them. Looks like there's a sunken ship over here too. Yep, definitely a sunken ship. There's a couple cacti. These, you don't need anything special to harvest, you just break them. An axe is the ideal tool though, so we will go ahead and use that. There's more coral reef around here. It turns out there's actually quite a bit of coral reef in this area. So when I come and set up a guardian farm at this ocean monument, I'm going to have a whole bunch of other interesting stuff around me too. Which I don't mind at all. Now where did I leave my boat? There it is. Alright. This expedition has overrun quite a bit, so let's see if we can find that buried treasure and then take ourselves off towards home. But holy cow, is this a big coral reef biome. I probably wouldn't have needed to worry about destroying any of it to collect a few coral blocks. In fact, I may collect a coral block or two just in case that turns out to be relevant. What? What is this? Oh, some kind of underwater ruin as well. There's a drowned. I'm gonna start drowning again myself. Oh crap. One of those drowned has a trident. I need to get out of here now. I'd actually rather kill that drowned if I can, because tridents are pretty valuable. A trident would help me out a lot with fighting the guardians. Ah, but they hurt. midair. Tridents in Java you can only get from drowned if they drop them, and they often don't drop them, so... Let's see, did I get one there? Oh, jeez, this guy's got one too. Okay. I almost died back there. Let's eat some fish. I picked up something when each of those died, but I suspect that it was just rotten flesh. Let me get back to my boat, and I'll check. Yeah, it was just rotten flesh. No trident. That's unfortunate, but it's the way this goes sometimes. Frankly, I'm just grateful to be alive. I'm gonna go back down there and collect one piece of coral, just in case I need it. If only I could pick those up. There, I got my one piece of coral. Let's get out of here before I get killed by drowned. No, it appears that I'm close to that buried treasure. I'm a little bit off the Ocean Explorer map, but I am onto the buried treasure map. So it looks like the buried treasure map was just north of the edge of the Ocean Explorer map. It looks like the buried treasure is in this area somewhere. Yep, I'm right on top of it. So I will break out the shovel and see if I can find it in this mess somewhere. I'm also going to lay down one of these chests that I've picked up and probably just leave some stuff behind here. Because a lot of the stuff I'm carrying is not ultimately that important. After discovering that this coral reef is way more extensive than I thought, and nearly getting killed by Trident Wielding drowned, I did get to this island and dig up the buried treasure, and now I'm going to set off towards home. Got what I came here for. In fact, I got more than what I came here for, so I think now is a good time to start sailing north again. I'm going to see... I'm sort of hoping that this island is going to wrap around and I'm going to wind up in the swamp that is on the other side of Tree Dweller Ridge. That would be my hope. I don't know if that's how this is actually going to wind up working out, though, so fingers crossed. Either that, or I will have to start wandering just across the land, hoping to run across where I live. Okay, I haven't been sailing north for that long, and I've run across these mountains, which I think might be the mountains that I found the llamas in. So I'm actually going to jump out of the boat, collect it back into my inventory, and just kind of wander across the world this way. Oh, there is actually more water here. I could have kept sailing. That does look like swamp up ahead. Maybe I'm in luck. Guess we'll find out. Turns out that was roofed forest biome and not swamp. However, that river did wind around quite a bit, led back to here, so that got me at least a little bit of distance. Now I'll have to travel east and hope that I wind up near something I recognize. Those could be totally different mountains for all I know. Village. I wonder if it's mine. I really can't tell from this angle, and I have to deal with these phantoms. That doesn't look like that doesn't look like Tree Dweller Ridge. Okay, phantoms dealt with. Let's go check this place out. I see an iron golem, and I don't see a fence, so this definitely is not Tree Dweller Ridge. I do see a cat. I don't have any raw fish with me, though, so I think that cat is going to be left alone for the time being. I should probably refrain from going too close until the sun comes up. Let's wait until the sun comes up. Right. Definitely not my village. However, I am pretty sure we are still west of my village, so if I just keep going towards the sunrise, I should eventually run across what I'm actually looking for. There's another village just to the south of this one, so I'm going to drop by that too, just to inspect. Hey, there's my oddly shaped mountain. I remember that. That's one of my usable landmarks, and here is the swamp. Those villages, I think you can still see, there's one. I think that was the one I was actually in, and there's another one just off to the south that I kind of went close to but didn't really go into. I think that this is the swamp that Tree Dweller Ridge is on the edge of. Yeah, because that is definitely that floating mountain that I explored in a previous episode and died jumping next to. So this should be my swamp. We should actually be right close to home. One of these rivers, I don't think it goes through, but it comes pretty close. So I can probably make that a project later to widen that out and give me access to the other coast of this little continent. And then I'll be able to get to the ocean monument, which I'll transform into a guardian farm whenever I want. Yep, that's definitely familiar. Which means the Tree Dweller Ridge should be right up ahead of me somewhere. I'm going to break a lot of lily pads on the way, though. It's okay, you can fish those up. In fact, here's Tweed... I keep trying to put a W in there. Here's Tree Dweller Ridge right here. And now that I know that this is going to be a useful spot to have a boat, I'm just going to leave that boat there. I'm going to have to put up gates on this side of the village too so that I can get through. Alright, let's just go around the village for now and get back to the bay. Because that's where we're actually trying to get to at this point. I've got a lot of goodies in my inventory that I need to divest myself of. Here we go, we made it. Home sweet home. Now I just have to put all this stuff away. That's 3 Hearts of the Sea that I have now, and I have 16 Nautilus shells, so I can make 2... what do you call them? Conduits. Which I'm not going to demonstrate in this episode. Maybe I'll get to it next episode, because I've always intended to put one out in the bay. Oh, I don't think I can do that. I didn't bring back enough prismarine to power it, because you have to surround them with prismarine. So I might have to hold off on that. Still, though. Conduits allow you to breathe underwater. And so it's useful to have one around when you're working on a project underwater. I will definitely be setting up one of those probably directly underneath that ocean monument before I start trying to convert it into a guardian farm. Otherwise I will spend a lot of time trying to brew enough water-breathing potions to keep me alive under there. For now, let's put a bunch of this stuff away. I'm going to get some of the clutter out of my inventory, and then I think there will be at least one more experiment I want to try. I want to try getting myself more sea pickles, and we'll see how well that goes. I've set the pieces of cactus that I brought back out in a line here. Those should just start growing taller, which will give me more of them. To make green dye from these, all you do is pop these into a furnace and let them smelt, and then you wind up with green dye. To get more of them, you just kind of lay them out somewhere and let them grow. They grow much like sugarcane does. They just keep growing taller until they reach 3 blocks tall, and that's their maximum height. And then you break them and replant them and start over. Now let's see about these sea pickles. So I know that to get them to reproduce, you start with just one and then you bone meal that. It doesn't appear to be doing anything with the way it is there. Let's try it with coral under it. So I did bring back the 1 piece of coral. That's what the trick is. Okay. So to get more sea pickles, you have to actually have them on coral when they get bone mealed. What if you just bone meal a random block of coral? Okay, then you just get random amounts of seagrass and stuff. That answers that question. I'm going to get myself some more sea pickles. I'll use up the bone meal that I brought out here because, well, I've got plenty of it. There, I came back with 7 sea pickles, now I have 55. That might be excessive. What I may do with these eventually is try to light up the bottom of the bay. I'm not sure how much of that I will do or when I will do it, if I do it. Probably when I'm taking some time to try and decorate this area a little more, but right now it doesn't need that kind of embellishment. So I'll probably just leave it as is for now. I think I am going to break some of the seagrass that I put out here by accident. I'm not sure whether I'm going to pick up this piece of coral again or just leave it where it is. In fact, you know what? I think I'm just going to leave it there and I'm going to put a bunch of sea pickles on it to mark it out. That way it's not cluttering up space in one of my chests inside, and it's still where I can find it when I need it. And with that, I think it's time to end this episode. I've found quite a few things that I wasn't really expecting to find. I got myself some cactus, got sea pickles, I got another heart of the sea, and I made it back from my ocean monument without getting killed. Discovered a few more villages on the way, and I'm now thinking about a project to kind of connect up this river next to the bay to the swamp. Because if I do that, I think there's just a little more work I would have to do to connect the swamp to another river that would get me all the way to the other coast of this, I guess, continent. It's not really that big, but for Minecraft purposes, yeah, it's a continent. And that would allow me easy access to the ocean monument. So I'll have to think about that in the future, but that's projects for another day. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel to see more content from me, and if you'd like to help my channel grow, please share it with your friends. Goodbye and God bless.